Bark if you understand. Bark if you understand.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Bark If You Understand. For those that do understand and feel comfortable to bark, please do so. Woof, woof, woof. Yes, we welcome you in another episode, and this time after talking about all the important and very serious topics of burnouts, today we decided just to have a bit more fun, just to remember that we're young, wild and free.
Yes.
And maybe, I don't know about you girls, but I feel so hot today. I mean, it is literally hot outside. Berlin is burning, and that's why I'm wearing all
30
black.
degrees.
That's
30.
why I'm wearing
30.
dress.
30 degrees.
Oh my
It is
god.
30 degrees.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, this city, like last week it's been rains and like almost autumn time, and suddenly it's just like 30 degrees, like it's literally like on PMS or something really.
That's why I'm wearing full black, because it's so hot outside. But it's never too hot in Berlin for proper boots and for black outfit.
Yeah, because black
Well-
is the color of Berlin.
Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah. So it's a total summer vibe.
It is.
Yeah.
It feels like
Finally, summer. It's a
yes,
summer.
It's here. It's here. I just recently actually came back from my trip, my little trip to Rome, where I traveled with my mom. And I've been thinking maybe today we should talk about summer trips and some cool travel stories.
Yeah.
It would be great maybe to hear some of your experiences, some crazy and not that crazy stories, something that somehow changed your life. Yeah, it's a story time
Probably.
today.
Yeah, it is. Who starts? Maybe
It's very hard to
I
start.
can start. I'm always off to a good start.
Maybe for some way to speaking about the stories, maybe one question as usual. Questions from me, the new subtopic of our podcast. When do you start to travel? Because it's depend on your experience when you start.
You mean
Yeah.
traveling as adults or with parents too?
Not in general, not as adults, but it's not, for example, connected with your, I don't know, visits to grandmothers, for example, grandparents, or some kind of travel connected with your job or students' work, festivals, and
But
something like
legit
that.
travel.
But maybe you have a lot of stories from traveling with parents in general when you were
Yeah.
young
When
and
was-
so on.
when was-
But when you just started to travel.
Yeah, I
Your
have
first
very
travel.
cool parents, first of all. They're young, cool parents, and I love them. And we've been traveling actually since since I was 7 or something. Yeah, we were just like traveling, and we traveled actually a lot into different countries. Of course, like classics, Turkey, Egypt, stuff like that. But we also went to like Thailand, Bali, Mauritius, different countries. And I've been always traveling with my parents. We've been like I'm so grateful to them because they showed me and my sisters the
So
world.
cool.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
seen
it's
so much.
great.
And
How
like one little crazy story. I remember when I was like 14, we went to Bali, and there is this like monkey park in Bali, And I remember I've seen like a little cute monkey, and I was like, I wanted to pet it.
Yeah.
I come there, and suddenly a mom monkey attacks me. She
my
jumps
God.
on me. Like I was like wearing like a t-shirt or something. She grabbed my t-shirt and started shaking me like this. And my dad, you know what my dad did? He was like, called my mom. He's like, look, and started filming. We still have this film somewhere. But this is my family, okay?
We just need to take this part of the movie and to put it in our podcast.
Yes.
Video on YouTube. This part
I will
of
ask my dad to find it.
yeah.
That should be a
try.
teaser to this episode.
Nice. Because in my experience, I just started to travel when I graduated university, and when I finished university, it was my first first trip abroad.
Where did you go?
Germany.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Which city?
It's Bavaria side near
okay.
Nuremberg. Because I
It's destiny.
Yeah, because I have my cousins here, and I for those moments I didn't see my cousins more than 15 years. And I decided to travel to Germany to see.
Did you travel alone?
Yeah, I traveled
Even
alone.
without your parents?
Yeah.
Really?
But how old you were?
After university, it's 20.
After university, yeah, okay.
Did you travel alone? She was like,
Okay,
22.
Yeah, because
for some reason I was like thinking like after school, you know.
Yeah,
You're
because-
such a brave girl. You
Well
traveled
done,
alone at
baby.
21.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
yeah, because before that, I just travel, I don't know, in different cities in Russia to visit my grandparents, to visit some student festivals, conferences, some kind of stuff like that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I travel around the Russia, but not abroad. And
Yeah.
about it, yeah.
For me, I think it was kind of similar because, like, being in Kazakhstan, especially, I'm coming from the part that is just so isolated, where on the borders with Russia and China. So I'm from the eastern Kazakhstan, and it's just so remote from the whole world. So basically, if you need to travel, you need to travel for at least 24 hours by train. 24 hours by train to our
true.
European listeners.
It's minimum.
It's minimum, yeah, to
Crazy.
the capital city, and then from the capital city, travel in Kazakhstan is just very hard sometimes. But my first travel was when I think I was like about 12 or 13 or something, and then me and my whole family, we went to Kyrgyzstan, to the Isyk-Kul lake, which is
amazing.
I've heard of
incredibly
it. I've
It's
never
amazing
been, but I've
place.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you the Alp vibes. Yeah, you're like swimming in the
want to be
lake,
there
and you're
now.
watching the icebergs over
weather.
there. It's so beautiful,
Amazing.
incredibly beautiful. Yes, and I was just so surprised. I remember I was like, they have different money. What? It's so weird, so cool.
And I remember when I just traveled first time abroad and just went to Frankfurt am Main airport, and I just downloaded the map of airport because I was scared that I just was lost here and something like that, because it's a huge airport.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to understand, okay, I have a map. I know that it's probably this gate or those, and I just need to go. It was really a little bit scary to travel alone the first time.
What do you like the most about traveling? What is the thing that keeps you doing this?
Exploring, yes. And actually, it's really cool that you started solo traveling straight away,
Yeah.
right? It's actually something that when I moved to the UK, I was just 18 years old when I moved from after graduate school. I went there to study. And basically, I was really solo traveling all the time. I started solo traveling around the UK to different cities and those like to countries. Like I went to Wales and other countries, Scotland and stuff like that. But basically, every time I say to someone like, "Oh, I'm going to go on a solo travel," and they're all like shocked, you know, like all my friends, everybody was just like, "Really, why? You know, don't you have someone to go with?" But it's actually, I don't know, like I love it, and that's where the magic happens when you go on a solo trip. And it's actually cool you started doing it straight away by yourself.
You can plan everything for yourself based on your feelings and so on. You just travel and, I don't know, visit the place what you want. It's better and comfortable to do.
You
It's
have
also
your own
just-
agenda.
Yeah, people like tend to be so indecisive, or you know, like if they commit to go, then there are so many things you have to consider and everything.
Yeah.
You feel dragged down, and the whole crazy adventure vibe just dies. And then you just go by yourself, and I don't know, like that's my motto in life: go with the flow and see what happens.
Yeah.
One more tips. A lot of my friends and relatives just would like to visit a lot of museums in each cities, and don't want to see and feel how people live there. And from my side, it's more important to understand and feel in the people and each city's
Local vibe.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
yes.
I totally agree.
I'm not about. Yes, I like to be in museums and some culture stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not in the first place in my travel stories.
I always feel like I'm a little anthropologist when I go and travel somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I'm experiencing the local lifestyle, and I'm checking like what people eat, how do they look, how do they
Yes,
talk.
it's very interesting. It's
Of
more
course.
So
just,
interesting,
yeah.
yes. And then my favorite feeling of coming back from travels is this feeling when you come back like from your trip from the airport and you're like, "Oh, I'll never be the same person. I'm so different. Everything is going to be different right now. And then after 2 days, you're back in your routine and everything is the same.
Yeah, that's true. But it's so refreshing you and really changes you. It changes you so much.
The whole perspective, like all the like insights that you get.
Absolutely, yes.
I also love thinking about life when I'm in airplane. I love listening to music and thinking about life in general. I never watch movies or anything in the plane. Never.
Never?
I'm just sleeping every time.
I'm just daydreaming.
I'm just sleeping.
Like I can daydream like for 6 hours in a plane. And then I was actually reading. I wasn't reading. I watched it on TikTok or somewhere. That people's sensitivity is actually higher in the higher attitude.
Really?
Yes, and that
sensitivity to what? Like intuition?
like in general, you're more like all of your feelings are a bit like
amplified.
Amplified.
It's a reason why the food on the craft
is tasteless.
Yeah, it's more with more salt and so on because because you can't eat it on the
also all your senses are different.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I never knew that, and I travel so much, and I never noticed actually.
It's really
Yeah. I think it's also something is weird with I don't know in English the name of this part of the brain but the one like replying for
first
the balance.
one, and it's a distance from the ground. It's
it kind of like gets turned off or something. You basically like whenever the plane is like turning or having an angle, you cannot feel it.
Yeah.
You mean like the like a vestibular
something.
Okay,
exactly. I cannot say it even in Russian. Yeah.
I got you. I hope you got this too. Bark if you understand.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So,
what next? What you just started to travel alone from UK? You just started to live in UK and travel and so on. Maybe it's time to share with us some crazy stories.
I just wanted to add on that I also traveled for the first time like abroad, like fully abroad when I was 18 when I came to Prague to study. So also
it was your first time.
It was my first time. I totally don't get my parents who were just like bye. And nobody was actually with me there. It was kind of cool. But then I remember that because I was so curious to travel around Europe and learn more about what is around. And I remember that my friends, they were like, oh, we're planning this trip from Prague to Barcelona. It would be cool to go there. And I was like, oh, like I would never have money for this. And I remember that I spent the whole summer working in the shop in Zara. I was an assistant, a shopping assistant in Zara. And I remember how I was walking from work and my knees were shaking and I was so tired. But I was telling to myself, I'm going to go to Barcelona. And in the end, I'm so happy. It was a road trip, like car road trip.
Really?
And we went
What's the good trip?
It was an amazing trip. We went from Prague to Barcelona through Alps and stopping in Montpellier in France.
It's so beautiful.
It was so great. I still remember this time. So I never regret working in Zara. Thank you, Zara.
For my travel experience.
And for some of my clothes.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I remember the craziest trip, probably and the bravest I've ever done was when I was, how old was I? Actually, I was just 20 years old. And my documents were stolen. There was my BRP, my Visa card. And because of this, I couldn't go back home for Christmas. And so basically I couldn't leave the UK until they did my new card.
Yeah.
And this bureaucracy took like 3 months or more than that. Yes.
Yeah, Christmas
That's my
time
fear.
and
I was so upset because I usually I'm very, very attached to my family. And it was extremely difficult.
I thought you were going to say to my documents.
That's my documents too. but basically it was the first time when I actually didn't attend the family Christmas, family New Year's, and it was really difficult for me. I was so upset and crying. But basically after that, after actually the New Year's, literally the first week, I remember like maybe 6th or 7th January, they got me my documents back, my visa. And what I did, because it was always my dream, like literally my dream to see Iceland, because I love Iceland. And I love Sigur Rós, I love Björk, I love Northern Islands, Lights, I love like everything about Iceland. And basically, because UK is not so far from Iceland, I just booked a trip and went there. all by myself.
All by myself.
Wow.
Yes,
Did
just
you rent a
alone.
car there?
No, because my driving license was in that card holder. I didn't have it. I didn't have anything. But apart from my, just BRP and stuff like that, that just turned back to me. But I actually used the app Couch Surfing. I didn't stay at people's places, but I connected like this with locals or with
Yeah.
other travelers. And actually, I met with some people who were like able to rent a car. Actually, I met one nice person there, and and he actually worked, I think, in a car rental, and he was living in Iceland. And we
Cool.
traveled with him quite a lot
Yeah.
around the island. I also then met a group of like a Canadian guy, British guy, and basically a French guy that
Oh.
spoke Russian somehow. And we
Yeah.
traveled with them as well, like in the north of the Iceland. It was so cool, literally. And I just like every day was like a surprise. I was just thinking like, what would happen next? Like, because I didn't plan anything, and every day something incredible would actually happen. Like I would meet some people. I would, go on a trip. I went in like Game of Thrones. There's like the huge glacier, the
Yeah.
biggest in Europe. I was hiking on it
Wow.
with a group of tourists, like with special equipment and everything. And and the craziest thing is because my dad and my parents were all a little bit like worried, so I didn't tell anyone about this trip. I didn't tell anyone they went to Iceland.
But it's one of the very huge plus of travel and of trips. It's opportunity to meet people. Really,
Yeah.
It's,
Locals who
Exactly.
live there,
or who traveled
Yeah.
like you alone or
And
with the companies.
that's
It's
exactly
really-
the biggest adventure, because these
Yeah.
people can take you somewhere out of your box. Actually, do you actually think that I had this theory for when I was a student, that whenever you're traveling a bit out of the box, especially with no budget,
Yeah.
that it's always going to be a most interesting traveling, because I just remember that like some of my friends, they prefer to travel in this classic way when you have a transfer from the airport and you have a good hotel. And I was always, I think it's not because I wanted to, I just literally did not have money
Yeah.
as a student, but I wanted to travel so much that I was always finding like other ways. For example, that instead of taking a plane, we took a car back then. And couch surfing is also a big
Have you
part
ever
of my
stayed?
experience. Yes.
Really?
Yes, a lot actually.
But you were with your ex-boyfriend, right? Weren't you?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
I was less afraid because I was
because like a
not
solo
alone.
trip girl,
Yeah.
still slightly insane.
that's really
You know?
that's really scary. Yes.
Yeah.
And do you have maybe places or city or countries where you would like to travel and would love to travel again and again? Do you have this place?
Like in recent years, this is what I do. I almost don't go to new countries. I just come back to the same places. And to be honest, now I'm thinking that I need to start exploring new places. Like there are some cities where I come back like 5 times.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
And actually, I rarely do that.
Just love it.
Yeah? This
and
is
what
so
are the
sweet.
places?
Like what? Yeah.
For sure, Barcelona would be one of these places.
never
I've been
been.
there at least,
I've been.
I think, more than 7 times now. It's too much.
Really? I've
Yeah.
been once, wasn't so impressed.
I've been to Rome too many times. I went to Tenerife a few times. Portugal again. Just love southern countries.
Okay, yeah, you
Why not?
really do. I love more like northern countries, I think, for travel.
Yeah, and that's exactly the part that I did
You
not
see,
explore.
like we are actually the same person living in the same in different
Exactly,
realities.
exactly.
Always, just like parallel different.
True.
So funny.
True. I had a cool experience with couch surfing. So basically, again, because we did not have money, so we had to improvise. And there was one cool time when so my friend Sonia, one of my best friends, she studied back then in Athens. She was doing the Erasmus program there, and me and my ex-boyfriend, we decided to travel there. But because the tickets were too expensive to Athens, we decided to go to a small city, Kalamata, where then I learned that olives are coming from.
Really?
Yes. Before I visited Kalamata, I hated olives. I hated them. And when everyone told me there, you should try the Kalamata olives. And now I eat them every day. I swear to
Oh
God.
my God.
You know,
Yes.
they say you grow up when you start liking olives and this stuff that children normally don't like, and adults are like,
Exactly.
it's actually good.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
That's when you grow up.
Yeah, I love Greeks for the way they are. It is
Yeah.
so amazing to travel in Greece because people are just so kind, and that's the part that I love about traveling, when you learn about simple kindness of people. So we basically decided that we're gonna hitchhike to Athens. So we flew to Kalamata, and Kalamata is the like southest point of the Peloponnese island. Is it? Is it island? Half island. So we decided to hitchhike, but we were so stupid that we decided to hitchhike on the highway. Nobody does this because on the highway you're not allowed to stop, right?
Yeah.
But we were not thinking about this. So we went
Just
to
like such mean people.
yeah,
You know?
we basically walked from the airport. Then we found like a small trash can with the paper trash. So we took it from the trash, and then we went to the close like petrol station, and we asked them for a pen. And with the pen, we written in Greek Athena. And then we were standing on the highway with this. That we need to
How
go
many
there.
were you?
Me and my ex-boyfriend.
Oh, okay, just
So
okay.
we two, we stand there. And we were walking there. We're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And that was like the first hour. We're like, look, there are oranges growing everywhere. We literally don't need anything. We have food around. We have everything. And then there was first stop that, so the bus, like huge bus stop. And they looked at us and they were like, are you crazy? First of all, you're on a highway. Second of all, you don't have water with you. It's so hot outside. And we were like, we have oranges everywhere.
Who cares?
And they were like, well, we're not going to Athens, but we can give you like a drive, like maybe at least for a few kilometers. So we sat on this bus, like empty bus, and just us. And this guy like talking something in Greek and something about water. You're insane. Nero. And then he dropped us off, and then there was another stop.
Did he just give you a lift?
He just gave us a lift for free. Yes.
He
Then-
was like, they need help.
Yeah,
They will just die here.
So basically, the next car that stopped, it was such an amazing guy. I would still remember him. He had a pickup truck, and in his pickup, like on the back, he had like. The story is different. So he was like, yeah, of course, I'll give you a ride. But I'm not going to Athens, but at least let me take you to the closest village so you will get some water. You really guys need water. We were like, okay. The guy was so nice. We were sitting like in the front and talking with him. And then all of a sudden we hear, woof. And we were like, what? And then we looked back, and in his pickup truck, there was a little puppy. He was so cute. And he was like, yeah, I just found him somewhere. I'm also going to give him home. And we were like, this guy was so sweet. So he took us to the village. He bought all water for us. He did not like ask for money or anything. Then he drove back the whole way and dropped us on the highway. It was not on his way. He was just like, he was telling us the story how he's coming from this Greek island where a lot of people live till like very old age. And then we also had a drive with another man who was coming from Tel Aviv. He was telling us the stories about his children. And then the final stop was actually a woman who was a doctor, and she worked in Athens, and she gave us the whole ride to Athens. Basically, we flew to Kalamata like at 11 a.m. And then by 5 or 6 p.m. we were already in Athens. And
So
it was
nice.
so cool. We met so many cool people. And yeah, this whole stay was amazing. And on the way back, we came to Kalamata. And in Kalamata, we had to stay for one night. And we did the couch surfing. It was such a sweet Greek guy who was also a musician. And he was like, you've never tried octopus? We were like, no, back then I did eat fish. And he went to the market, bought the whole octopus for us. Then he was teaching us how to cook it. Then he bought a lot of wine, gave us his bikes. We were driving his bikes around Kalamata. Then the whole night we were singing songs and playing instruments. And then in the morning, he just left. He was like, I'm going to go to work. You guys leave apartment whenever you want. Just slam the door. No need to worry. And like he left, and we were like, what if we would just like steal stuff from him? Obviously not, but like the trust that people give to you is just incredible.
I was just thinking, like, when was it? Like, how many years ago?
Many. I don't know. I think I was 21 or 20. No, I was 23 probably. Yeah.
Maybe like
So it was like 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Because I don't know, like sometimes I see people hitchhiking as well, and I just want to give them a lift even sometimes, but then I'm scared that they will just like strangle me from the back.
Yeah.
I lose like faith in people sometimes, and obviously it's
I know,
scary, you know?
I know, yeah.
And this is like so adorable. This woman just, yeah, I'm just like listening to you and thinking like they have such a trust, or was it just because times were a little bit different? Now it's way more like turbulent,
Maybe
you know?
these people just, I don't know, don't like to watch some true crime stories.
I was also like horror
so
movies,
open.
you know, maybe I overthink, but same time, like, who knows?
But it also depends on the country completely, because then we did hitchhike in Italy, and people are not stopping there because
Yeah?
it's not in their habit. They don't do this. A few only stop, and also they don't speak any English. So every time I was like, Montagna, bella, mare, bella. I had to have this little chat with them all the time. But then we also did the other side of the couch surfing. So in our Prague apartment, we also did
You
the
were
couch
actually
surfing.
hosting?
We were hosting a lot of
Oh,
people.
that's
There
so
was all the
nice.
time somebody new coming to us, and sometimes it just paid off. So we were hosting one Italian girl, and then when we traveled to Rome, we were basically staying with her parents, and it was so funny because she was not in the city, but her Italian mom, she came to the train station, she picked us up. She did not speak any English, but she spoke a bit of Spanish, so I had to use like all the Spanish I know. So it was insane. So like all these days we were communicating in Spanish, and we were living in their Roman house, which was so
Wow.
beautiful. She was preparing us Italian dishes. She was like packing like this little bags for us for every day, and there was always the Italian salad, some fresh fruits, water, and we were always walking with this portable fridge.
This is so sweet, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What's the craziest story, or like
I
the
don't know.
most memorable one?
I don't know, because I just have a lot of short trips, because sometimes I just travel alone or with friends, but practically every time is just travel trips only for weekends or just more than 2-3 days. And I have a lot of stories like, I don't know, you just fly to China 8 hours, and after the city, when you are flight, you just took some, I don't know, bus and travel a lot in some different city in China and do some stuff here and back to Moscow, and it's all trip only 1.5 day, and it's so crazy because you just have a lot of time for traveling. And for example, I have a story like I just went to city and just come to station, and after 15 minutes I'm just sitting on the back train to first city. I just wasn't the destination, only 15 minutes. So crazy. But I don't know, maybe I have some stories like when we just decided to travel to France with my friends. We were, it was I and my two friends, and we just decided, okay, we have 3 days for France. We just planned visit some Paris, of course, some places near Paris and Disneyland. And before 2 days, before we just started to travel, our return flight was cancelled. And we just need to decide how we can change the tickets. And we changed it for 1 day before, and we have only 2 days for travel. And we just, started to think about our plans and decided that we need to save our plan that we have for 3 days, but do it only for 2. And it was a very crazy trip because we just come to Paris, beautiful and tasty breakfast, took a car and going to Rouen. It's a place when the Jeanne d'Arc was born. Yeah. And after that, we just went to Etretat to see some
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Actually, I would
very
love to
beautiful.
go to
Yeah,
Italy.
it's very beautiful, and it's another part of France. And after that, we just back to Paris to Disneyland only for 3 or 4 hours.
That's still my dream to go to Disneyland.
Yes, and we are lucky that our one of our friends just work in Disney in those moments, and we have free tickets.
Oh really?
And the
Nice.
reason we can spend only 3 or 4 hours there and without big payments because it's a little bit stupid
Yeah.
to pay. I don't remember 60 euro per ticket.
1,000?
60
What
euro.
Disneyland do you want to go to?
but in general, 60 euro per ticket, and those time, and it's expensive to spend it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just back to the airport. But in this trip was very interesting fact that we are all of us. We are very successful managers, and we created the sheet on Excel, and we just plan our time minute by minute, literally. Yes,
Wow.
yes, because we just.
I never travel like this.
Yeah, because we just
Neither.
understood that we don't have a lot of time for our plans for 2 days. Because
Now we
it's
know
for
if we're
free.
gonna travel together, who's gonna be this person.
Yeah, and we just planned every single moment. For example, who first going to the bus, cleaning teeth and something like that, and how many times, how many minutes you should spend. Because without it, we can't realize everything that we would like to realize.
But do you feel you actually relax?
Yes, it was very, very, yeah, because without any pressure, something like that, it was like challenge for us. We
Okay.
just would like to
Sounds
do,
like my hell.
Yeah, me too. Because
and-
actually, like that's like my vibe. I go with the flow and see what happens. And I never plan anything.
Yeah, because we really didn't know what we should keep in our plan, because everything was interesting for us, and why we should skip at Rita, for example, or Disneyland. We can be in any place.
Opposite
if
to
you-
this, I have the shortest travel story ever.
Yeah.
So, like a few years ago, like my ex partner back then, one night we got like a bit drunk and stuff, and then like my ex boyfriend, he was hanging out with his friend, and they were like, "We feel so adventurous tonight. Yes, this is so adventurous." They're like, "Let's just run away. Yeah, let's go somewhere." And they saw that there was like a train passing, because we live not far from the train rails. And basically they saw that the train like stopped like for a little break, and they jumped in, and they were like, "Let's just go wherever this train will take us. Let's just be spontaneous. It's gonna be the best adventure of our lives." And he basically, I was like sleeping at night, and he just texted to me like something, "Hey sweetie, I'm leaving on this train, I don't know, we're going for a little adventure." I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Okay." And basically this train just went
Where?
just one station away, and it was the final destination, and it just stopped. So they basically they literally took the tram back home, and they were like,
Okay.
"They
I
had another
tried.
adventure."
They're
Right.
adventurous.
Yeah,
Well-
but in our case, it was really good trip because we just saw everything what we would like to see, and if to be honest about our time management, it worked very good because we were in the airport earlier than we planned.
That's
We have a
nice.
I'm
That's
so
very nice.
opposite. I'm so
And
opposite.
if you need some
Same.
good time management, it's from this
I
side.
had a
yes.
few times a situation that they were calling out my name, and I was
Yeah, me
running to
too.
the gate.
But actually, I just traveled. I just recently came back from Japan, actually, and China as well. It was always my dream. It was such a dream come true because actually, I've been. Actually, I have best friend from Japan. You know, Yumi. Hi. Yeah, we
Please
actually
like
grew,
for-
Yeah, we please like and subscribe to our channel. No, she's best, and and we actually like spent all our uni years together, and I'm very close to her family as well. And like they came to the UK, to London very often, and I've been always around them, and I love Japanese culture. And actually, with my sister, hello Diana,
Please like.
our producer here. Basically, we went together to Japan for 10 days, and then we stayed back in Shanghai, actually on the way back for 3 days as well. But Japan was just a dream, and like actually I would want to live there because basically it's such a small country, but it has everything you ever need. It has the best food, most kindest, like polite people. They are like so polite, and you feel so safe. There's a crime rate that is actually super low there. If you just leave your phone or something and forget it, nobody will touch it. Nobody, because they just, there's such people, like very, very respectful as well. Everybody obeys the rules, like even during COVID, where in each country they had restrictions and everything. In Japan, they just said, we recommend you, government, and we recommend you to stay indoors. Everybody stayed. They're super respectful to the law, everything. So you feel super safe there. And I've seen the Mount Fuji, different temples. They have I'm a very spiritual person, and actually I've been following Japanese Buddhism for 10 years now. And yes, there are so many temples there. We went to the Pacific Ocean. I've never seen the Pacific Ocean before. It's just, I don't know, I actually would love to live there one day.
Yeah.
I would love
And
to.
what about your new dream? If you have a dream to visit Japan, what about now? What's
Peru. Very
Okay.
quick.
Yeah.
Machu Picchu. I would love to see Peru, and I would love to see alpacas and everything, and I would love to see shamans. I love this kind of crazy stuff.
What's
So I
about
would
your
love
dreams?
to.
Travel dreams.
I wanted actually to ask a question. When we're traveling to these destinations and we're seeing the life as the outsiders, how much do you think we're actually romanticizing it? Because I definitely romanticize how Greeks so kind, and also you coming from probably as an outsider, Japanese people seem to be amazing. But then everything changes when you start living in the country and you understand all the aspects of it. And maybe not all, but
No,
you try to.
absolutely. No, I definitely understand that there is no El Dorado, there is no paradise in this world, like Voltaire said.
Like
But-
Voltaire said.
I just
She's a
love Voltaire.
classic pianist.
I just genuinely do love. But anyway, basically, yeah, I would completely understand, because in Japan there are lots of problems. People are very closed and very reserved, and the suicide rate is really high there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And also they suffer a lot from various, you can actually rent a family there. You can rent a girlfriend for a day, and not just for any intimate things, but it's just actually to feel close with a human being, on a human level. It's you can literally rent sisters
terrible.
and brothers. It's crazy stuff like this, because they cannot actually. They also have population crisis there, because lots of young
old,
people leave the country. Only old people stay, and also it's disbalanced, and also younger people don't want to give birth and stuff like that. So yeah, basically there is a crisis, and also because people for some reason cannot afford. And it's also an island, of course, and island mentality is always like this. People are more reserved and closed, I think.
Yeah.
It's psychology. And there is actually this problem, and you can literally rent human beings to feel human connection with them. How insane is that? Obviously, it tells a lot about the mentality,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why, of course, it's definitely not going to be magical, in terms of reality will hit sooner or later. But I would love to have this experience, though.
Sure.
I literally would love to.
For me, Japan, it's a little bit scary country because of quakes. A lot of
true.
it's a little bit scared. It's every time when you just thinking about every stuff, not only about travel. For example, you just understand that in this place it's not so safety place. Why I should go to this country and have some risks.
Bark if you understand.
Yeah, because,
Understand.
for example, when I choose the dog, I just check everything, and I just understood, okay, this and these breeds, it's not for me because they have a huge risk of this health problem and so on. Just why I should choose the dog with a potential health problem.
Yeah.
And it's whether living in the country or traveling, it's the same. Why I should travel in the space or place with some kind of risk.
Well, as the card says.
What card?
The card says.
The card. Classical
Okay.
As Walter says. There are always risks in every country. No, I had the same conversation with people who live in Tenerife.
Yeah.
They live on the volcano.
Yeah.
And they never know when the main one is going to explode, and if it's going to explode,
recently
it's gonna like eat the whole Tenerife island.
Yeah.
And I asked them this question, and they were like, "Where were you from? From Kazakhstan, where you have earthquakes there, and you still live there?" And I'm like, "True." You just never think about it, and I mean, they're everywhere. Anything can happen. There was a tornado in Germany once, no, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, but you
I think
just
last year or
choose it
something.
just thinking about different and numbers of risks, and okay, you just
But
try
I
to
think
when
find
you
something
love-
more space.
Yeah, but you're thinking also from
More
a different
safety.
perspective, as you can choose where to go and live, because like, but some people are just born to the places they
Yeah,
But you
it's
never
different,
know. You
yeah.
actually, when I went to Iceland, actually, going back to the story, it's actually, Iceland has one of the lowest rates in the world. It's super, super safe. But when I came, the night before I literally came, the girl disappeared. And when I was in Iceland, actually, there's this girl, there's a whole community, the whole island was looking for her. And apparently she was killed. And
Okay, more positive question.
yeah. But basically, you never know. So there
Yeah,
was no
it's
risk
true, it's
whatsoever.
true,
So
it's
that's
true.
why follow my vibe. Go with the flow and see where it takes you. It never took me to a bad place, literally.
Yeah. I have a more positive question about some touristic stuff. To buy some touristic stuff.
Oh my
like
God,
magnets,
never. No, I
plates,
hate it.
and something like that.
I hate it.
Because-
It's all made in China. What's the point? I don't understand it. Unless there's something that you bought in the village, somewhere in the mountains, that this
Yes.
grandma produced with her own hands. Otherwise, magnets, please, people, stop.
Stop produce it, first of all.
No, I think that's the best thing, you can bring is either like food or something that you just, I don't know, bump into. For example, I don't know, actually, I bumped into like this vintage shop, and I have a friend who loves vintage stuff, and I got him like a little small vase, and it was like meaningful because I really liked it, and I know he would love it, so I gave him as a gift. So it's like, I don't know, just kind of whenever you set your mind to something, like for example, I need to find gifts and souvenirs to these people, it's like your brain starts unconsciously searching for it, and then you will notice it like in a little shop, in a little vintage store, something like that, and I think that works best for me all the time.
I'm really opinionated about this. I also don't think you should bring souvenirs to people just in sake of bringing the souvenirs, because I just don't like this, just like stacking the stuff. Like I don't like trash.
But
like,
it's attention. Obviously, you don't have to
Yeah.
get trash. Only what they would want,
but
for
sometimes this
example,
attention is not
but-
really nice for
Yeah,
me.
but for example,
I will never bring you a souvenir.
Please don't.
but probably you just could bring some candle from the Japan, and it would
Yeah,
be
that's what
very
I'm
great
saying.
for you because you
Yeah, but
it's candle and you use it.
You still wouldn't like it.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're
I think
so picky.
I think it would be nice to bring something to the person if you know the person,
Yes,
something
of
that
course.
you know that they're going to be using.
Of
Like for
course.
example, okay, bringing a candle to me makes sense because I do burn the candles.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if like you would bring me, I don't know,
Statuettes.
or I don't know, even a bottle of like some spirit alcohol. I never drink it. Like
Oh, really?
it would be different. It would be different with a bottle of
what's
wine.
your favorite way to save your emotion and feelings from travel? Because from my side, I just every time I started to think about some, I don't know, photo books, for example, from some interesting place.
Photo
But
books
I've
are
never,
nice.
Yeah, but I've never.
But I think it's about, like, for me, what I want to bring is the memories, and memories are
Yeah.
important.
How-
That's why I like photo books. That's
yeah,
great.
But okay, now I just have a lot of memories and feelings in my iPhones and a lot of pictures and videos. But in general, sometimes I just started to feel that I need more, and I need to organize it somehow, to create some physical books, for example, and to have an opportunity to see it, and every time I would show some.
Yeah, from one side, I understand the sentiment. From the other side, like, every time I moved places, I was thinking, okay, now I have this postcard. I cannot throw it away because it has the feeling inside it. But at the same time, I don't want to move places with this kind of thing because I cannot imagine. Maybe I'm not a nostalgic person, but I cannot imagine a moment when I will be seated and be like, oh, there's this postcard that my friend.
You're actually not a
there's
nostalgic
this
person. Once we were throwing the rubbish together, I remember, and I said something like, for a moment I said, it will be so sad when we leave this house, where we live together, but village. And I just said it like, being romantic for a moment, and she's like, why? Why it will be sad? It will be fine.
I'm not a nostalgic person.
But
can see that.
you just imagine, and any time you can lose your phone with a lot of memories.
Yeah, but I have it here and here. I still remember me, and that's exactly like, maybe
But-
I would.
But maybe when you
When I have a dementia?
yeah, or some kind of
Dimension?
Parkinson and something like that
I think
for the future.
I think then I wouldn't care actually.
And what about the sharing memories and feelings with your
With my children,
and grandchildren's?
I don't know.
With
You
your
know what happened
family?
to me actually a few years ago? I completely erased my hard drive by accident,
Oh, so there is trauma involved. I felt that.
and I at the moment I was like, what if I will ever need this? But I've never needed it.
Really?
Yeah. Also, luckily, I have nostalgic friends. Like, I have a friend since school, and she collects everything. And then at some point, I was
that's
like, "Do you have a
sweet.
photo of me like with the stupid bangs?" She's like, "Yeah, sure."
Okay.
That's really nice, actually. Handy.
I just don't like stuff, I think. Yeah.
You just keep everything on your mind.
Yeah. That's why I try to travel every time with the like clear intentions and creating something special out of travels, because exactly like the stories that I've been telling to you, like it's something that I will still cherish in my heart, like, and remember forever, rather than like, oh yeah, there was another trip to like this 5-star all-included hotel in Turkey and I don't even remember anything but like swimming and eating and I mean, that should also take place. Like sometimes if you're so tired, you need this.
Actually, last year I was I went to this kind of trip,
Yeah.
and I was like thinking, now I will relax. Now it will be like the most relaxing time. And you know what? First night there is the fire starts. Like they were basically because there was a time last year when there were fires in Turkey, and literally like
Oh, you were there back then.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And basically there is a beach, and literally not so far from our hotel, the whole wood started being on fire. It was like I still have pictures.
Did they do these helicopters that are like...
Yes, the helicopters, everything was there.
Yeah.
And they were literally grabbing the water
Grabbing
from
the water
our
and then-
beach
Yeah.
and like taking this to the forest.
I'm always fascinated by this process because like
But it was
for
so
somebody
hot.
who never lived like next to the sea, I'm like, incredible. There's just
Yeah.
the whole sea full of water.
True, but it's so
Wow.
difficult to bring it there. Like it was actually insane. And there is a funny picture of me and my sister took because we were so worried about this fire and we were like on a pier and I just lay down on a sunbed and like sleeping and there was a fire behind me. And I peacefully sleep, basically like a meme.
But what about all the fishes that they grab together with this water? Then they just drop them into the fire?
Oh,
Grill.
I think it's not.
I knew that you're gonna say this. I knew you're gonna say this into my vegetarian eyes.
They just
And they
took
will
water
cancel
from
me
the
before
top.
starting.
They took water from the top without fish. Fish is in the
jellyfish is also could
I
be
saw
there.
that trip actually for the first time. I saw real octopus. It was on the bottom of the sea, and
Really?
it was like moving, and I was observing it. It was so fun.
Wow.
I loved it.
Grilled octopus.
Wow. Do you prefer more?
We'll go to the hell straight.
I want.
But I have a very positive vibe from Turkey. I was in Turkey in the vacation, not just Istanbul, like airport and so on. Just first time, and only one time with my mom, who was in 60. First time to see the sea.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was very positive vibe for me because it was first time on the sea for my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
and
adorable. I will never
yeah.
experience this because I've grown up next to the seaside.
Yeah.
Baltic
yeah.
seaside.
For
You just
me, it's
can
always a
imagine
magical
you're-
moment. We have a
Yeah.
tradition in my family. Every time we were traveling to the lake close to my city, we were always like, as a kids, when we saw the coast, when we saw the water, we were always screaming like in the car. We were like, the sea! Little did we know that it's not the sea. I don't know why my parents misled me so much. But
This is so sweet.
and
though.
and like this time when we saw the sea with my mom, like when we traveled to Rome, and she was like just like reminded me of this memory. She was like, the sea. You see, I'm nostalgic sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, you have
For my memories.
you have heart and soul somewhere deep.
Somewhere it is. I also had a positive experience from Turkey. We basically did not go to this like typical touristish hotels, but we went to the hotel where all the locals go to. It was not like all inclusive, but we just had like breakfast, and then we could explore the city a bit more. And we also rented a car. And my 57 years old mom back then, she was like, why are you forcing me to drive a car? And I was like, it's not going to be the same without the car, because I don't have a license. So I forced her to drive. And she was like, please plan the trips in a way that we don't have to go through the mountain roads. And I was like, yeah, sure. And we ended up on the road that was like this. And she's like, I'm going to kill you.
This is crazy. We had the same experience actually in Tenerife.
Yeah.
And in Tenerife, I had the craziest actual experience because the first day we came there, and we actually came there in October, early October. So the sun wasn't supposed to be like so severe and so strong. But then I came there, like put the oil on me, and I'm like, I want to get this nice tan. I got such a severe sunburn.
I still remember this picture of you.
Literally, I was so red. And actually, the first dinner, my friends went on dinner and everything. I went with them, but I didn't want to destroy their mood because I was like, actually, I was suffering. I had like such a long dress, and it was like touching my legs, and every single movement was a pain and suffering. And I went basically to a local pharmacy outside of the hotel, maybe like 10 minutes walk. And I went there, bought some stuff, and basically left. And then I look up this hill that I was supposed to walk up. And I'm just like, I won't make it. And I lost my consciousness.
No, you fainted?
Yeah, I fainted. And basically then I opened my eyes and there were these people like, Senora,
Oh my God.
And basically, and then I came to my friends. They were like, you're insane, you know it. And then you know what happened next day? My best friend, Sandra, hello.
Hi, please.
Like, please. Yeah, basically. We went to the Black Sand Beach.
Yeah.
And she basically was allergic to some seaweed that was there. And suddenly we were swimming, having fun. And she's looking at this and saying like, I'm not feeling well. And then she said like, maybe I'll die here. And I'm like, are you crazy? I started following her. And I'm like, what's happening? And then she turns around. And she was so swollen. She had like the worst swell, like literally. It was so scary. I went up very quickly to get her water. Then we were calling ambulance. I speak no Spanish whatsoever. Absolutely not a word. No, what word? And basically local people were like, I was like, ambulancia, ambulancia. Like something, please. Like she's dying. And they're like, we are in the village, we can't find anything, And basically then ambulance came and they took her. But basically first day like was my sunburn, second day it was her, and we were just like Tenerife is trying to kill us or something.
Wow, I love Tenerife.
But it was still a beautiful like a trip. I literally enjoyed it so much.
And I have a very important tip for this situation. Every time when you travel, please buy some insurance. Please, because if it's not some extreme travel, you never know You really
Like
never
here,
know.
literally, you never know.
You just need to have an insurance every single trip. Every.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Actually.
yeah, it's true.
We were quite reluctant about that, but it was still a cool trip. You know, no regrets whatsoever. Go with the flow.
So, which countries are you planning to travel this year
So hard.
or next year?
Actually, next year. Actually, I still really want to go to Machu Picchu, and also I want to go to Norway in this winter to finally see the Northern Lights. Because actually, that trip in Iceland, I didn't see them, even though the forecast was very high. We didn't see, and actually, like there was the wave here in Europe where everybody saw the Northern Lights. You know, like in the UK, here in Germany, people were posting it all on social media, like on Instagram. And me and my friends, we went like Northern Lights hunting, but we didn't see anything. So it was a shame.
It's my dream
Still
too.
my dream.
To see,
Yes.
to see Northern Lights. It's my
a
really dream.
We should go to Norway.
Norways, yeah.
No nostalgia, no
It's not about
lights.
It's not
nostalgia.
nostalgia, it's about future.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
about
joking.
being
I'm like, this episode, I cannot relate. I'm like, no nostalgia, no northern lights,
Yeah.
What do you
no
want?
souvenirs.
What do you want then?
I actually wanted for a long time to travel for the first time to the North America continent. So for the first time, I want to go to LA. It's been a dream of my childhood, like to go and explore the Hollywood.
Are you planning to go this year?
I'm still planning to go this year, but apparently it's a trip that requires a lot of money. It's a bit more expensive than traveling here in Europe. So yes, so far we're planning to go on my friend's birthday.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I really want to go to Mexico. Actually, it's another dream. Actually, Machu Picchu, like, and Peru and Mexico. I really, really like, because I love Mexican culture. I love food.
Yeah.
I love the celebration of, like they have like this, like I forgot how it's called in Mexican, but in. Oh my god, Spanish.
Muertos, something.
Muertos, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Spanish, yeah. But basically, I forgot, yeah. But I would love to see that as well, yeah, and to
From
everything, I would love.
From big dreams, since childhood, I don't know why I came up with this as a kid. I always dreamed to go to Zimbabwe. I don't know why. My dream was
Safari.
no, not the safari, but I saw it in some TV show. So my dream was to see the Victoria waterfall because it's the widest waterfall in the world.
That's true.
And Zimbabwe has is it Zimbabwe or Zambia has a better view? Because it's right on the borders, and from Zimbabwe I think you see it from the backwards, and in Zambia you see it from the front. But in Zimbabwe you can do a bungee jump into
Would you actually
to the Victoria waterfall? It was always my dream
to bungee jump?
Yeah, but
okay,
then
this is not included in the flow. I would never, never. If you pay
it's
me, I
not
would
included
not.
in the flow.
I dream about Australia.
Australia would be also
Spiders,
dream.
though.
Okay.
Snakes.
Spiders. Just kidding. But it's for
have
me.
phobia.
It's some.
Are you not
different-
afraid of snakes?
No, actually no snakes,
think
but
it's,
spiders. Do you understand there are no tiny spiders like here in Bel Village?
No, it's
It's
okay.
like
I lived in Cyprus with
tarantulas, okay?
tarantulas. It's fine.
What?
In Kazakhstan, a lot of tarantulas too.
Oh yes, my mom actually told me. Yeah, because my parents also from Kazakhstan actually.
Yeah, but
We don't
it
have
looks
tarantulas
like
in
different
Kazakhstan.
You have never
world,
seen?
Really?
I've never seen tarantula in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, you've seen. Yeah.
Yes, my mom told me a story when I was a child that they go into your slippers and then you put a foot into your slipper and
Oh my
they bite
God.
you. My mom scared me.
Kazakhstan is a different country than Adelina imagines it.
Yeah, but Australia, it's really
Yeah, Australia is
it's
cool.
different
But
world,
it's
different
beautiful.
part.
Yeah.
I would love to go.
I think it's also funny to see when, for example, Europeans are traveling to our countries. For example, I took a few friends to travel with me into Kazakhstan. I've never ever been so stressed in my life. I lost my friends in Kazakh mountains. I lost her on it.
What do you mean lost them? Like
She got lost. in the mountains.
you found them then?
So we basically went. We took the how's it called? These little cabins that are taking you up.
Cabins.
Is it?
Funicular.
Lift.
Anyway, we took a lift up,
Yeah.
and we were on the height of like 3,200.
Cabin
And,
lift actually.
What?
Cabin lift.
Cabin lift.
We just
Okay.
maybe probably have some
Disclaimer.
name of this stuff
Written here. Yes. Anyways, we went up high to 3,200 meters, and basically up there everything seems to be so close. And she was like, "Oh, I see the glacier there. I'm gonna walk there." And I'm like, and when you're walking on this altitude, you're like a bit dizzy and stuff. And back then, I hated all of this like outdoor traveling, and I was like, "You do you, girl. I'm gonna go back." And she was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go and explore everything here, and you are gonna go and sit and wait for me in the coffee shop." I went to the Pole coffee shop, and I was sitting there like living my best life, like eating salads. And then like all of a sudden they're like saying like, "Oh, we're closing the lift, you have to go like one level down." It was in Chimbulak in Almaty. And I was like sitting, I went one level down and I was waiting there. And then they're like, "We're closing the whole resort now."
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, "Oh, wow." And she's still not there. And then I'm sitting there and I'm realizing that she has no network because it's up high. She gave me her passport. She gave me all of her money. She speaks no Russian. And
What language does she speak?
she speaks Czech and English. It's my Czech friend, and she has totally.
You just left your foreign friend, like in the Kazakhstan mountains.
In the mountains, yes.
Oh, you're so sweet, you know.
No
It's
nostalgia.
Good, you know? Like, I'm getting to know my friends better through this
Yes,
podcast.
very
Actually,
friendly.
Come travel to my country, yes.
this episode she revealed her second
New
nature.
side of
Yeah. And it's not funny.
Maybe it's the
It's
dress.
like the funny thing is that she also did not know where we live. So basically, if I leave now, she has no way to find it. And she also like the way that Czech people are perceiving like traveling abroad, like they feel like everything is like in Czech Republic. You have like all the information everywhere, but like the nature in Kazakhstan is wild. There are bears, there are wolves, like it is wild. And there are no touristic trails there. So basically, everything that looked really not dangerous from the top, from the lift, when she walked there was actually like huge stones. And she could not walk down. So she had to slide on her ass from these stones.
Okay.
And imagine that she went the whole way from 3,200 meters down. And then
On her ass.
on her ass.
Literally.
She was so tired. She said that she could not feel her hips anymore. And then like on this first level, she finally met some people. They were with the cars there.
I love how you just knew that it's wild nature and everything. You're just like, you do you, girl. I do me, and go drink some blue wine.
Everyone is
Malt
responsible for their own lives. and she was.
This is, you know, what we have to deal with it.
So what she was saying like to these people did not speak any English, and she was just like saying like Maya, подруга, down. And they took her, they drove her, and then like I'm sitting there. I'm actually like calling to all of my like to my relatives in Almaty. I'm like, what do I do? I imagine how like we're gonna look for her with the helicopters and how her dad is gonna kill me. And I was calling to my ex-boyfriend and like crying to him, like I gotta find her. And then like all of a sudden this like cool new car stops by. The door opens and she's like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Ah!" And then we both cried.
Where the car came from?
It came like they pick her up and they brought her to me.
These people she met in
these
the first
people, and she was just like
okay.
spasiba, and we both just
So
like
sweet.
we looked at each other and we started crying, and we were like, "Ah!"
I think it's a good story to finish because our TV just have some sign for us that we just
1
need.
minute you.
Yeah,
we have
that
1
we
minute
just-
to finish this show.
Yeah,
Okay,
we just need
guys.
to finish and
Yeah.
say goodbye for everybody. But
Stay safe on your travels.
Don't be
yes.
scared of solo traveling. Just, embrace
It's better
the
than
vibe.
traveling with people like me.
Exactly. Just, go with the flow and see what happens. Remember, it's mantra. But it brings all the magic. So, enjoy it.
Yeah, and please share with us your dreams about traveling, about
crazy
your
stories.
or crazy stories and comments. We just would like to read it
Yeah, if you have more crazy stories. And also, are there other people who are not nostalgic? If you are, please support me.
It's completely turned down now.
Just send Gula in the comments if you are not nostalgic.
To
And
all
if you
the
are
non-nostalgic
like me,
people.
please also send the comments and support.
Thank you so much for staying with us. It's
Thank you,
Bark
guys.
if you understand.
See you next episode.
Send us
See you
your
guys.
woofs in the comment.
Woof, woof.
Bye bye. Thank you.